Okay. Are we working? We working? We good? We good? Okay. Here we go. Um yeah, this is I think gonna be my channel introduction. Um yeah, this is actually gonna be real crazy. I actually want to give a shout out to just everybody that's, supported me, been with me for a long time. Um I feel like this is gonna be a new chapter into like just a crazy era in life. So with that being said, like this is the first video. Hello. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Ray. Um, sometimes, well, I don't know if some people know who I am out in the internet, but like I have a podcast, a basketball podcast called the Love the Game Pod with one of my friends. Shout out Co, you know what I'm saying? Shout out Jay, all them. Um, so yeah, I just I went into making a music channel just to talk more about music. I have my phone in hand. I'm not even gonna lie. It's kind of like I write scripts and stuff like that in order to like really do my thing. So yeah, get used to this. So yeah, I just wanted to talk more about music. I wanted to display kind of my musical journey in this introduction, so like people can kind of understand my perspective more. Just in like how I review music or how I listen to music, how I talk about music. Yeah, like I feel like I have had such a unique journey. I'm from Philadelphia, which is like a heavy music city. Rap and R&B are like some of the most important genres within the city. Like, I mean, obviously there's so much more. But like, those are like two of the main genres that I grew up around. Um, you know, we played a whole bunch of rap music growing up, so like, you know, I was I'm not gonna say I was overly hip on it, but like, I grew up knowing who like Jay-Z was and like Beanie Siegel and like, Nas, Kanye, Pharrell, like Snoop, Dr. Dre, etc., Lauryn Hill, you know what I'm saying? Um yeah, just like a whole lot of different people that, just kind of paved the way for music today. I also want to give a big shout out to NBA 2K because that like really helped me understand like what music was. That was like my biggest like I guess like eye opener for music in a sense, at least at a younger age. Because I got to learn all the classics and stuff like that. So I loved music for a long time. I grew up, with my mom always playing like Jackson 5 and like Michael Jackson CDs in the car. And like I remember the first song that I ever like was like, yo, this song is so good. Was the song Miss Jackson by Outkast. Specifically because it was like on this like commercial. I want to say it was like a Toyota commercial. Um, and I was young, bro. I was like probably like 4 or 5, and I just enjoyed the song because it was like it definitely like had some form of emotion while being like cool. Um, Obviously like Meek Mill is another person that was like significant in my life, because from Philly and stuff like that. Um, so I remember hearing Meek Mill on the radio, like specifically like Amen. And also like it was cool to see Drake, who Drake is Drake, like kind of like acknowledge Meek. I felt like that was really cool. Um, but unfortunately, as we know, like that didn't last for long. Um, so kind of like fast forward to 2016, which is like the golden years, I guess you could say. Um, I remember not really listening to Kendrick for the first time, but like really understanding that he was like one of the best. You know what I'm saying? Um, you gotta give credit to like Good Kid, Mad City. Sing About Me, I think is like one of his best ones. Um, so just learning how to be more of a fan of rap, like at like a teenage age, was interesting, but it was because of Kendrick. You know, um, it was crazy because like another big memory for me musically was like I went to this sleepaway camp, um, and that was like the same year that like Uzi went crazy. You know what I'm saying? So like me and my mans, we were at this camp and we were hearing about Uzi like just going crazy. So that was like just another memory, just like seeing like yo, like especially because it's Uzi, um, if you're from Philly, you understand like it's like a city that's very uh like I feel like a lot of people were very influenced. That's like the best way you could say it. So Lil Uzi was like someone who really stuck out like a sore thumb, and to see that at a young age, like you know, it was like it was really inspiring. Like you would even see him around like driving in his like anime cars and stuff like that, like during my teenage years. So like that really influenced my music taste, like really seeing him around. It was like I guess like subconsciously kind of like motivational. um I also got inspired by like J. Cole, man. Like For Your Eyes Only was such a crazy era for me, like because it really helped me like mature my music taste. I also like that song "Everybody Dies" because that was hard. Like that was my introduction to J. Cole for real, for real. Like I knew 2014 Forest Hills Drive, but like hearing "Everybody Dies" and like hearing why everybody liked J. Cole, I was like, yeah, like he's tough. Um, and I like Drake, but I think that whole like, I think that whole light skin meme stuff was kind of just annoying. So like I just didn't really want to connect with it as much. But like obviously we grew up on his music. Like there's obviously a respect and appreciation there. Another like just a huge moment for me. 2018 Die Lit by Playboy Cardi came out. And it just made me really embrace alternative punk culture and music. Like I remember really being engaged with like guys like ASAP, Uzi, obviously, X, Travis Scott. Um, so like Cardi, I think just making an off the wall album, which was Die Lit, in my opinion, like it was really fire, and I think that's just what really made me like just understand like how music could evolve. But obviously, I didn't know what would come. You know what I'm saying? Which we'll get to because this is the intro. Um, and I also think like Meek Mill getting out of jail that year really changed my perspective on music too, because like if you remember like Philly in 2018, I think it was like I was when like the Sixers were just starting to get tough again. The Eagles were, I think, just coming off the Super Bowl. And then like I want to say, if my memory serves me right, like Meek Mill got out of jail and he like flew in a helicopter to the Sixers game to be like the special, because like at the Sixers game they got like this like this guy who like will ring the bell every time. So like Meek Mill was that guy, and that was like a crazy moment. So like yeah, that really like stuck with me in terms of rapping, and obviously championships dropped, and so like it was like, dude, like it just really cemented him as like one of the ones, at least to me, because like a lot of people think Meek is like not as tough as he is, but like I don't care about none of that. I'm not hearing none of that. But yeah, I really credit that for like my growth musically. And then COVID era, another time where like music really changed. Like shout out The Weeknd for After Hours, that was hard. um but like also I want to give credit to Whole Lot of Red, bro, because like obviously like Cardi's one of my favorites. But like we wouldn't have known kind of like how influential that album became. Like I know I didn't expect that, and I was a fan of bro since I was like 16 or whatever, like something like that. So like just to see just that type of influence on just the youth, and then also just music in general, like is really crazy. You know, like it really introduced me to like a different side of like emotion within music, because obviously like Future and Young Thug are like some of the innovators of that. But like I think like Cardi just introduced something different that was just like, whoa, like that's really tough. um but yeah, like it really helped me get more into, or I guess like embrace more like house music, EDM music, like old punk rock music, you know um so yeah, like shout out to A Whole Lot of Red. And then also like in 2020, like I moved from Philly to Atlanta for college. Shout out Morehouse, you know what I'm saying? Um, and I really like got to understand trap music at like a crazier level. So like big respect for Future, Young Thug, like Lil Baby, Gunna, Um, you know, maybe it was like me just interacting with different types of people that like helped me accept a lot of different forms of music. But like definitely being in the scene, I guess, quote unquote, it really helped me appreciate that type of music a lot more. Especially because like I'm from the East Coast, so like obviously like we listen to Future and Young Thug, but like it's just we different styles. You know what I'm saying? Um, and then also like I want to give a huge shout out to when Yachty dropped Michigan Boy Boat. That was like a really underrated drop that I feel like changed music. Especially because like I was like one of the main people that would talk to my friends about this, but I feel like that Detroit sound is also like one of those big like I think it's like more influential than a lot of people give credit. You know, you see like the rise of like V's and like Babyface Ray and all them like that just shows just kind of like how influential that album is. Because that was just kind of like the start of like that Whole Lot of Red also mixed with like this like Detroit era mixed with like this trap sound era. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I might just be talking a little crazy because it's like, but we'll see. 2022, 2023 ish. I got put on the Kalani. You know what I'm saying? So like it really helped me understand like R&B more, like not to sound like performative, but like help me understand like femininity more, emotions more. Also like SOS by SZA, that was like really really impactful because like again it's kind of like reinforces those same type of feelings. But like it helped me like listen to more artists like kind of like like Ombre or like Pink Sweats, South Philly, you feel me? Like Doechii, FKA Twigs, and like Steve Lacy. Just trying to get more into different types of music and stuff like that. And fast forward to 2024, the Great Rap Beef, and it changed a lot of motion in life for like a lot of rappers. But I feel like a lot of people have like disingenuous takes when it comes to like these specific guys because of their loyalties. And I'm not gonna lie, like I feel like it's just getting old at this point. Um, it was cool seeing the best battle for the best spot, but like now, bro, like it's so many. There's a lot going on in the world right now. You know what I mean? So like, obviously that was a big part, but I think also we just need to appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Like this is literally the Raps version of like LeBron, KD, and Steph. Like I'm not even gonna lie. Shout out to the Love the Game pod. That's a Love the Game reference right there. And yeah, now we're here. I recently did like an article on my Substack just about like some of my favorite songs throughout 2025. And maybe I'll do like some albums. I don't really know yet. Possibly not, just because like we're in February. Hopefully this will come out by the end of February. But yeah, like I just hope y'all just come with me during this journey. Like I really wanted to start off this channel with some substance. Just because like I feel like we don't really have that right now. So yeah, like I really wanna just talk more about music I love and use my podcast to teach media literacy through basketball and health. But I also wanna do something like that with my music channel. So I don't necessarily know what that would look like, but I know I have like a journalist background, so like I just wanna do more in terms of just like that type of stuff. So yeah, man. Yeah, just I hope you like the video, comment, share, hype, subscribe. And if you like basketball, you know what I'm saying, tap in with my podcast. We go crazy over there. So yeah, man, thank you.